Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rena. If you're new here, then welcome. Today it's an old classic topic, sunscreen reviews. I have done one this year which I reviewed a lot of Asian sunscreen dedicated. Today's video I've got 5 different ones. They're coming from Australian local brands, some very famous brand you can get everywhere, as well as one Korean sunscreen that I've been really enjoying, but I haven't heard many people talk about it. So if you want to watch the dedicated Asian sunscreen review, I'll leave that video link somewhere so you can check it out. If you're interested like this topic in general, maybe consider subscribe to my channel because I do have a lot of sunscreen reviews. I started review in 2020 and 2021, and I feel like a lot of you guys found my channel through the sunscreen review. So this is one of my favorite things to film because I always feel like I'm back to where I started. I have been using these 5 sunscreen in the last 3 months, so I can give a really good sort of personal experience and how I feel and rank them from my least favorite to my favorite based on their SPF, type of sunscreen, how it goes on the face, whether it stings or peels, does it work with makeup, how it's more of a face sunscreen or it's a body sunscreen, so all type, etc. to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite. Alright, without further rambling because I get a little bit too excited, let's just go straight away into today's video. My 5th and 4th are kind of interchangeably. It's a little bit hard to choose which one's worse, which one's better. I've got a Neutrogena Sheer Zinc Mineral Sunscreen as well as an AlphaH Daily Essential Moisturiser SPF 50. Let's talk about the zinc sunscreen first because this is the one and only physical sunscreen that I've got in this review. This one is called a Neutrogena Sheer Zinc Mineral Sunscreen Stick for sensitive skin. It has 4 hours water resistance, an SPF of 50. It also contains vitamin E and is an hypoallergic formula. The physical sunscreen versus chemical sunscreen, just a quick touch up if you don't know. Physical sunscreen is like wearing a sunscreen cloth on top of your skin. It reflects all this UV light. Where chemical sunscreen is like a filter, so the filtering through all the nasty ones, so whatever get penetrated onto the skin, it should be harmless. The good thing about physical sunscreen, as you know, as wearing a clothes, it just protects everywhere you're covered. The thing is, can be a little bit too thick. It's like you're wearing a long shirt on a hot day. You just want to take it off, you know. Chemical sunscreen, unlikely, it's a little bit more easy to tolerate, but because it's a filter, some of the filter might become, I guess, expired, if in that sense, like it quickly degenerate to nothing. So it works for a short period, but maybe not for a long period, where physical sunscreen, as long as it's on your skin, it's workable. Alright. So this one, we have 21.6 zinc oxide, so it's a really good concentration, and they mentioned they're having nano zinc here. The thing with nano zinc is it has this potential risk of reaching to your skin cell and therefore causing some unnecessary sort of changes or potential effects to your skin. So I have checked on TGA, which is the regulation here we have in Australia to regulate all like pharmaceutical things, including sunscreen. There is very clearly stated that there's no evidence to date to say they are actually reaching visible skin cells causing any damage. So at this stage, TGA is approving all nano sunscreen, zinc sunscreen. I think what good about it is they let you know straight away because there's so many zinc sunscreen that are reviewed and you guys were asking me and I've been reaching out to the manufacturer and then people seems to be avoiding this conversation. I mean, it is just what it is. You tell us and we can decide whether we want to go ahead or not. In this case, if you don't like nano zinc sunscreen, then straight away this is a pass. But if you do, like me, don't really mind as long as the regulation says a yes for now, then we can have another look. So because this is a stick formula, sorry that's a bit loud, it's meant to be very easy to be applied onto your skin. So all you do is just like swipe and then swipe again, so it's like already a half of a layer there, and then you can just kind of tap everything, smooth it out, and then you can see the difference amount of arms, not too bad. Like there's no visible whitening white cast that I've noticed, which is a bonus for a mineral sunscreen. but also because it's stick, so it's a solid texture, it's sometimes a little bit hard to blend. I didn't notice that much on my body, but very obviously when I'm applying on my face, there's so many little areas, and sometimes it's just really hard to apply and it's really hard to blend. And they also add in this vitamin E to increase its nourishment, so I guess it softened the texture. That gives me a result of a very oily finish, especially on my face. I feel like my body is not as oily as my face, so I'm kind of loving the vitamin E when I apply it on my body, but when I'm on my face, I do not like this shine. It does work well with makeup if you let it set for long, and I tend to use a like shine block or oil controlled primer as well, so kind of just balance out everything. And it does not causing any irritation, it's not stinging around my eyes, and that's just one thing you just get for pretty much all zinc sunscreen, like physical sunscreen, straight away. So for me, this is more of a body sunscreen, not so much for my face. Although I do like its zinc and everything else, even among all of the sunscreen that I've got, because of the stick formula, how it feels a little bit heavy on my skin from time to time, especially when you're applying sunscreen, it's a really hot day. I haven't been reaching this that frequent, so that is why I'm putting into my 5th in this roundup. Unfortunately, I do like you, but I found something that's even better. The other ones in this category is the AlphaH Daily Essential Moisturiser SPF 50+, Broad Spectrum Protection. I have a little travel size of 30ml. I believe I received this from Adore Beauty, their gift with purchase bag, which I'm really blessed, so I don't have to get a whole bottle, test it out in case if I don't like it and I still have to use it up. So I have used all the way up to just here a little bit, so I think for the next time I could completely finish this. This one, it says it's a concentrated skincare and sunscreen. It's like a 3-in-1 product because it says it's a lightweight moisturizer, UVA, UVB sun protector, and a primer. And it's aiming to give you this hydration from the pro-vitamin B5 and antioxidant from the vitamin E they provided in this little tube. This one has most of the traditional chemical filters, but with one new generation filter, that's the UNOT 150, and that is to cover all UVB. So B for burning, A for aging. Wearing this one, I really did not receive any burning because I had a few days when it's very hot and I was doing archery outside. So I was really enjoyed the results coming from it, but not so much with the experience wise. First of all, this one has no water resistance. It's a fragrance-free formula. With chemical sunscreen, a lot of ones I mentioned gonna have a little bit of fragrance. I guess it's to compensate the chemical ingredients, but also to add a bit of personal experience-wise. But fragrance can be an allergy, so I do like they avoid the fragrance, and they have a lot of moisturizing ingredients here, like the vitamin E that we mentioned, the pro vitamin B5. So that's going to be very, very moisture if you have a very dry skin. For a very oily skin or normal combination skin like me, this is so shiny. My mom is having dry skin, but I feel like over the time as I've been passing a lot of skincare to her, her skin's not as desert dry as before. She even feels this one, it's a little bit too oily to her. She can get away, but she says this one's definitely shinier than a lot of the other ones I get her to try as well. So I just want to point it out there. It's definitely a super hydrating moisturizer, but whether or not that's a little bit too much, it depends on your personal preferences. So I've been only using this on my body because the shine is just too much to be used on the face by itself, and it's too much burden to apply makeup afterwards. Although it has no stain, no peeling around my face, I just can't have makeup sitting on such an oily surface. So again, I don't think this one is very practical in my opinion to have like a one-on-the-go sunscreen for everywhere. This is definitely not it. And I remember AlphaH is not a very, very affordable. It's not like a drugstore, supermarket brand. So I just think they could do better, and I do have a faith. I think if they keep their formula, keep the new generation filters, and just, you know, play a little bit more, they might have really, really good outcome in the near future, and then I'll be looking out and try it again. Moving into number 3, this is the sunscreen that I feel like, yeah, I think I can use it everywhere, but I happen to have something that's even better. So unfortunately, this lies right in the middle, and that's the Bondi Sands Hydra UV Protect SPF 50 Plus 4 hours water resistant spray. I've tried all different forms like spray, stick, moisturizing, lotions, etc. This one is a traditional chemical sunscreen, so it has all of those traditional ingredients, benzoate, homosaline. So straight away, although it says it has 4 hours water resistance, I would suggest you guys to reapply at least 2 hours because benzoate wears off a little bit quicker than a lot of the UVB filters. This one, what I want to quickly mention is the claim of saying plant-based hydration and it's a reef-friendly formula. I don't think any of the others one having this claim, and living in Australia as an Australian brand, I think it's very important. I even know a lot of people, like very famous people, they don't use sunscreen when they're surfing as a way to say we need to reduce the damage of all these chemicals to be polluted into the ocean when we're wearing sunscreen. So we're protecting ourselves but damaging the environment, and that's not what we're wanting to do. And with reef friendly, I think it's a bit of a gray sort of line here. There's no very restricted saying this particular ingredient is really bad for the environment, or if you say you're reef friendly then you can't have such ingredients. But I do like they definitely have some ingredients here selected to avoid, so it's a little bit more better to be used compared to others. I don't know a lot of the reef-friendly sort of criteria because I personally not someone would go out to the having surfing, like I can't swim, so okay, I think that's making it very clear. And I don't like tanning, so that's super clear that I'm usually avoiding this. And plus I was born in a very cold little city up in the northeast of China, so all I enjoyed was the snow and skiing and ice skating. So that's a little bit too much of a story, but I'm just trying to say, although I'm pointing out this is reef friendly, I can't put my heart to saying this is definitely a true reef friendly. But what I'm trying to say is it's good they're mentioning this, and I'm seeing more brands are doing this, and hopefully by doing this they can innovate whole criteria for what is actually classified as reef friendly, so they don't make it like a green product, which just doesn't really make sense. I want a reef friendly to be really specific and quite restricted for whatever the ingredient that you put it in, and yet still provide great sunscreen protection for our skin if it's possible, if it's reachable. Anyway, I want to say a big thank you for all the things they mentioned here, so giving you guys the option to choose over other brands, and plus they're very affordable here in Australia. I think worldwide wise they're just like supermarket brands. This has got like 150ml and it's just around $10 if you pick it up on sale. They also mentioned the bottle itself is made with recycled material, so just the little things. It's nothing to do with the sunscreen itself, but the little things all add a little bit of bonus point when I'm reviewing it. So it's reef-friendly, fragrance-free, paraben-free, sulfate-free. A lot of good claims over here. And the idea of having a spray bottle is meant to make it a lot bit easier to be applied more for the body. So you just do a pump. And it's not spraying like crazy, just spraying out lotion, and then you can just kind of absorb onto your face, into your skin. It has a good standard absorption rate. I wouldn't say it's very fast. It feels very hydrating. And then I don't know if you can tell, it has a little bit of shine left on my hands. Not too much, but this type of shine on my face, I would think just a little bit more than what I prefer. I've tried so many that have given nice sheen sort of look, but this one's a little bit oily, just a little bit. So I would say this is again for me more of a body sunscreen, and because you need to reapply this every 2 hours for a body sunscreen to reapply it, I just feel like I could do better with other ones, and therefore I think this is past all like standard sunscreen, but just not making into my favorite, at least my personal experience wise, and how I actually, the number of time I use in the 3 months testing wise. But it's a good product, and I've got a couple of their new sunscreen that I bought recently. I haven't started trying it, but I'm really keen and really looking forward to testing them out. Moving to the top two, number 2 here is the banana boat sunscreen. I had a look online. This one is either been on sale or on clearance, so I'm hoping they're not discontinuing it. They may be just changing a packaging or something, but while you can get it, while I tested it, I might as well still tell you guys and give you my thoughts. This is the Face and Body UV Moisture Sunscreen Lotion, SPF 50 Plus Full Spectrum. It says it's lightweight, it's non-greasy, it provides all-day moisturizer, and it's tested for 4 hours water resistance. Banana Boat is again a brand that you can find a lot of places across the world and is relatively very affordable, so that's a good bonus point. And this is a chemical sunscreen. Unfortunately, I feel like with Banana Boat, brands like this, they're too big, so they don't really worry and having the thought, the effort of putting into new generation filters, because their formula has been stable for many years and they've just been using it over and over again. So this one has all of those traditional chemical filters, benzoyl homosilane, everything like I said previously, and there's no new generation ingredient. That is definitely a bummer. In my case, unfortunately, the one has new generation. This is really oily, so I'm just like, no, that's too much. So this one is same for face and body, and it's definitely true as a claim. It absorbs quickly. It just feels like a moisturizer, literally like a body lotion, face day cream. It takes no effort whatsoever, and it leaves no shine, but it's not matte either. It's just like a moisturizer. It has no irritation, and it definitely gives a quicker absorption rate compared to the one that I just mentioned. So overall, these two are very similar in ingredient wise, apart from the reef-friendly and no paraben claims that we don't have with Banana Boat. Personal experience for my face and for my body, everything is a little bit higher than this spray bottle, so I was really using this a lot more frequent. So I had this full bottle here. I'm already up to here now, and that's only been using on my face because I've been testing all the others on my body. I know they're workable for my body, and I just think if I'm done testing, I can just have this one on my vanity and I just use it all the time everywhere. I do need to still reapply it, and that is why I think some of my previous sunscreen review probably better than this, but while I'm reviewing this time, then this is my top 2 favorite sunscreen from Banana Boat. It's time to review my top 1 sunscreen in this roundup review, and this is the Korean sunscreen. I was having a moment trying to find out which one is actually the name of the brand. I think the Lotto's is actually the brand of this sunscreen, and this is the Pure Lotus Jeju Botanic Sunscreen, SPF plus, PA plus, 4 pluses. So straight away you've noticed this is not passing the TGA regulation, because TGA regulation would say full spectrum sunscreen, where this is passing through the Asian sunscreen regulation. The SPF are the same, the higher the better, and then the pluses are the more the better as well. So this one's got 4 pluses. This one is again a chemical sunscreen, but this is a chemical sunscreen that mixed with traditional and the new generation ingredients. So it's a little bit more stable and can last a little bit longer than the other ones that I just mentioned. This one also contains some skincare ingredients. Here we have rice extract to give this nice hydration, smooth the skin as well, help with the skin barrier, and we also have niacinamide. I don't think I've seen a sunscreen having niacinamide, but it's not very strong, so I haven't noticed any irritation, but I guess it's giving this sort of brightening property, anti-inflammatory property as well. This is definitely a moisturizer and sunscreen 2-in-1. If you are very lazy, as I sometimes running late for work, I will skip my daily moisturizer and I'll just apply this one, and I apply 2-3 fingertips all around my face. It absorbs very quickly and leaves no greasy, no shine, and is not peeling around my face, considering a lot of the sunscreen, when you go 3 fingertips, it takes a while to absorb in. It's so quick and it's still not peeling, and I have no irritations around my eyes. It's so good for an office daily use, and it's very easy to reapply as well. So I've been using this on my face as well as on my body, but I have to say there are 2 things I've noticed maybe not the best. First is I've noticed a fragrance when I'm using this. If you're someone really sensitive to fragrance, maybe think twice. I think the fragrance coming from this one is so minimal. It's almost nothing, but I can just barely smell it. So it's not actually very strong, and to me it's a very natural scent. I kind of enjoyed it. The other downside is I don't think this one has any water resistance, which is again I would think is more for office everyday work. I've been only using it in the morning before I go to work for my face because it just works so well. I do reapply another sunscreen. I can't think of the name. A Supergoop sunscreen. I got a little travel size in my bag, so right before I finish work I'll apply Supergoop, because when I finish work it's around 5 and it's here in Australia it's usually very sunny. When I'm going in the morning, a lot of times the sun is still covered by clouds, so I haven't needing a much of like a burning protection. And this one does have UVA, UVB, so don't get me wrong. I'm just saying like super good. It's probably better if I'm gonna out there for a little bit longer in the afternoon. So I've been really loving this for my office everyday work. So among all the 5 ones, this is the one that I reach out the most. I've only got this much left considering it's a 50ml bottle. Because I've used so much of it and I still haven't got burned for all the work days that I've got, so I think it has a great broad spectrum protection, although it's not passing the TGA regulation, and it's very affordable, and experience is just awesome. So I have to recommend it. I have to put it into my top 1. That is everything for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I feel like the ranking might be slightly personal based on how I use what activities that I do on a daily basis. So with each individual sunscreen I try to give all the good points and all the potential like cons that I can find, so you guys can pick and choose. If you're someone like to play close to the ocean, then this might be your #1 choices, versus me where I go to office every day, so this is my favorite. I hope it's helping you guys in choosing, and by giving you a little bit of my personal experience, how it goes on my face, how it goes with makeup, how it goes on face and body, as well as the ingredient behind it, so it can just save you a little bit of time or tossing between the two. Anyway, that is everything for today. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give me a like and consider subscribe down below. I hope you guys all stay safe and stay positive, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!